They even changed location. They're no longer in the same places. So they can do a whole lot of things that we can't even dream about doing. And these are serious things to be checking out scientifically, not just me with a camera like this. Look at this. Because if we don't check them out and find out what they're all about, you know, it could be a lot of trouble for us. And it's already a lot of trouble for us because they're all over as it is. Just look at all that energy these things are harnessing and even creating themselves. Just look at how strong that is. You can see all the orbs now, especially next to that yellow cluster. You can see how many orbs are just all over it. Now those orbs are in the air all around, everywhere, even where I am right now. They're all around me, they're on me. So there's no way of getting away from these things in Toronto. Look, another one just sparked up. They're just lighting up like candles all over. As soon as the cluster becomes active enough and the velocity of the orbs increases around the nuclei, they spark up and glow like that. They just keep popping out all over. And there's going to be a lot more of them. Every day there's a lot more that are visible. And it doesn't matter that people don't see them now. They will very soon, because there's so many of these things popping up all over that they're going to start noticing them, whether they want to notice them or not. Because these things are just going to be right in their faces, and there'll be no way of avoiding seeing them. Now I started with 3 clusters, now there's 5 in just that one single area. So look at all of them in the air, just all over. Those light blue spots that are moving all over, that's just them. You can see how many of them. And look at this. Look how they're just revolving around the nucleus there. Now the yellow lines there across that one that's up front, that's an energy field. That's electromagnetic energy, and they're making a force field right there with those lines. They're crisscrossing them and connecting, and they're creating an energy grid. That's what that is. And every one of them is doing it. It's just that it's obvious in this one right there. Look at how hot this one has gotten. Just gotta position the camera better. I don't know why this thing won't stay. Let me just fix it. I want to show this white one because it's such a high active state that it has to be shown. Now you can see just how high the vibration frequency is there in that one. You can see the larger clusters inside the nucleus just vibrating at such a high level and frequency that they're creating energy just by their vibrations. Not only are they revolving around the nucleus faster than your eyes can see, they're also vibrating faster than your eyes can see. Each cluster is vibrating and revolving at the same time. Trying to find another one that looks like it, but this one shows the whole thing the best. The vibrations and the revolutions. So here's another one way up in front of a building. This one's really powered up. Trying to get this stand, something's wrong with it. Look at all the orbs inside the nucleus. And they're all turning into hexahedrons. That means they're mature and powered up enough to be hexahedrons. The little ones are much smaller and you can't even see them even if they are hexahedrons because they're moving so fast. But these are large clusters and they exhibit the hexahedron pattern inside and outside. Just look at all that energy. That's a different one than I was shooting just before. They're all over. I have no trouble finding one. I just have to point the camera in a different direction and they're everywhere. Absolutely no problem in finding one. I see another one in midair. I'm going to back this off and try and find that one. This is all the way on the east end. That's far from me, but look, that's way up in the air, and this one is going to start a big cluster way up in the air. That's gigantic because it's so far away from me. It's more than 10 kilometers away from me. Look how far that thing is away from me, and look how far that is, and watch how big it is. I can see that with my naked eye, and look how big it is. That's going to be a gigantic cluster in the sky, and that's no airplane or helicopter or anything else. That's a cluster. There's going to be a hexahedron cluster as soon as it powers up. So that's way up in the air. That's at about 1,000 feet. Maybe more. That's how high that thing is. Now look at all these other lights that they've put in, the bright lights. The whole city is like lit up like a stadium, and there's absolutely no reason for these lights. Look at all the clusters powering up next to them. Look at them. These are all clusters powering up. They're not man-made lights. Look at that. Look how many are over here. Look how many are there. I'm just going to leave it there. Those are all clusters powering up. So I don't think we should be turning these bright lights on, making these things reproduce even more, giving them the opportunity to really explode their population level. It's bad enough there's so many as it is. Just look at all of them. That's what came along with that saucer yesterday, or the day before. Red orbs like that. They were all over the place. Look at them. Those are not man-made lights if you're thinking I'm shooting at man-made lights. The reflectors there, the big ones, those are man-made lights. But look what's happening. The orb clusters are there to recharge and re-energize from those big lights. And that's the reason why they've been put there. It's an incubation process and a energizing station. Wherever you see the big lights, that's where these things are energizing. I see no other reason for the big lights whatsoever. And there is no other reason. Look at this. Look at this. Look at that cluster on top. That's another large cluster up in the air. They're going to be all up in the air soon. As soon as they charge up, look below it, what's happening. Look at these. I mean, is this normal for a city? Maybe it's gonna be normal pretty soon, but it was never normal before. Look at this. They're making all kinds of different symbols, and they're all parallel and perpendicular, but they're making all different symbols. They change like almost like a sign, but this is not a sign. These are orbs making their own signs up in the air. This has become Orb City here. Look. And look, right below that, the large lights incubating and even powering up more of those orbs and orb clusters. Look at how many of these there are. And those are not on any structure or any building. There's a building behind them, but those are just suspended and hovering in midair. Look. Hold on. I gotta fix this so it'll stay. Just look how they come right next to the light and power up. And look, there's just more of them being made. There's a whole lot of orbs in the air. Look at how bright these little clusters are next to the big one. There's about 4 or 5 there. And they're going to be glowing and up in the air, making more clusters themselves very soon, probably tonight. Just look at how bright they are. It's just gone too far and too much. Look. Every one of these has clusters right next to it, powering up. Look. They're just all over. And this is like something really neat. It's unique. So this is some kind of signs they're making, because they normally aren't in a pattern like that. So that's their billboard. They're telling all the other ones that are in the air how to land and where to go, because that's what those things are standing for. Okay, and that's not on a building. They're hovering in front of a building. I'll zoom in to show that they're not normal lights, that they're clusters, and you can see the orbs creating the plasma by super fast revolutions around their nuclei. And every one of those, you can see how fast they're spinning around the nucleus and creating a plasma ball. And that's what's glowing. And that's what they're doing. They're creating a sign of their own by just stacking up like that in rods. Those things that are perpendicular to the ground and parallel to each other are rods. Look how big they are. Look at the size of the building. That's like an 80-90 story building. And you can tell the size of the rod, how big it is, judging from subtracting that size from 90 stories. And that's at least 20 stories. That's how large those rods are. 20 stories. Okay, it's not a little tiny thing. And I'll show again that they're living entities. They're all living entities. The air is full of them. And those are large clusters. And they're composed of living entities, each and every one of them. And this has nothing to do with anything else other than alien organisms. because these things are not from this planet. They were never on this planet. They may have been on this planet before people were here, but they have never been on this planet since I know. So they just started showing up not too long ago here in Toronto, and now there's so many of them. They're all over everything, everyone and every place. And look, watch, that one's gonna light up. They gotta write another letter, I guess. Change the sign. So that's how they do it. I'll just back off to show how they change their sign. This is unbelievable. What's unbelievable is not that these things are here. What's unbelievable is that no one seems to realize that they're here, and no one seems to be able to see them. And that's more unbelievable to me than anything else. I mean, I can deal with the fact that they are extra-dimensional or hyperdimensional or interdimensional or extraterrestrial even. That's all fine. I can deal with things like that. What I can't understand is why are people not seeing them when they are huge. Those stacks there, the rods are 20 stories each. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. And there's more orbs on the bottom, and no one seems to notice them. Now that's very amazing that no one can see them. And it's pretty unbelievable. I'm just gonna take the camera over. I think I see that saucer thing. I'm gonna go over here to get a decent shot. Okay. All right. Okay. Now I shot that the other day, and that looks like a bunch of white orbs on the bottom of a saucer-looking thing, and red orbs all around